Hey, I just finished doing a presentation for our partners at JD Power for Honda and Acura dealers. And I thought, why not take that same information and share it with you? It's a great little presentation about AI and how you can optimize your website with some specific actions on how to be optimized for Google and for AI rolling into 2026. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's go ahead and go into this presentation. So first thing I'm going to do is come right over here and get this rolling. So all right, let's just go ahead and do a little reality check. Search is no longer just Google plus keywords. That's what we've been doing for the last 10 years, last decade, where we would pick a term, we'd build pages, we'd get backlinks, we'd make sure that the site is loading really, really fast and hope that we would win ranking. And all of that stuff, yes, still matters, but it's no longer the whole game. And what really matters is how customers are able to use ChatGPT and other AI tools as car shopping assistants and making sure that you show up when they are shopping. So to do that, we're going to look at a few different things. So we know that customers today are not just typing in Honda, Civic, lease, Tampa anymore. They're asking full questions like, who's the best Honda dealer near me for a Civic lease? And the important part here is that uh, when they ask that question, they're not getting a list of 10 different blue links that they can click on. They're going to get an answer. They're going to get one answer. So our goal as marketers and as dealers have changed. It's not just about ranking on the first page anymore. The new goal is to be understood by humans, by search engines, and by AI agents. So because AI doesn't guess like a person does, AI is going to verify and share what it can interpret and what it can connect. So here's a transition of what we're going to be talking about today. And that is, if AI can't read your dealership information clearly, it can't recommend you. And that's what we're going to try to fix. So first of all, LLMs need structured meaning, not just keywords. All right, so the big shift. For years, transitional SEO, traditional SEO has basically been a three-legged stool, right? Keywords, backlinks, and technical performance. So as marketers, as dealers, we would ask, do we have the right keywords on the page? Do we have enough authority pointing to that page? And does the site load fast? And does it work on mobile? And all of that still matters, yes. I'm not saying it doesn't, but what I am saying is that now AI has entered the chat, literally. So when someone asks ChatGPT, Gemini, where should I buy a Honda Civic or who has the best service special in my area, those tools aren't just scanning dealership websites to see how many times Civic appears. They're trying to understand the meaning. So the game becomes, can AI clearly identify who you are, what you sell, where you are, who you serve, and what you're known for? That's not keywords. That's entities and relationships. So an entity like Brandon Honda, another entity is like Honda Civic, another entity is like Tampa Bay. And AI is trying to connect all of those dots, like Brandon Honda sells Civic, serves Tampa Bay, has service offers, has inventory, and has credibility. So if your site doesn't communicate those relationships clearly, the AI is either going to skip you, or even more worse, they're going to serve up answers from another source that is structured properly to answer those questions. So what we're going to be optimizing for now is clarity, consistency, and structure. Because with AI discovery, you're not trying to rank for one keyword. You're trying to be the most obvious answer, the most reliable answer. So, okay, semantic content. And when I say that, I'm not talking about trying to make your website sound all fancy. What I'm talking about is making it obvious to a customer, to Google, to AI, what that page is, what the dealership is, and who it's for. Because here's the truth. Most dealership websites already have this content on it. It is probably just kind of scattered throughout. Maybe it's in the footer, maybe it's in the header, maybe it's in the sidebar, maybe it's inside embedded in an image, maybe it's on some paragraph on some page that nobody ever sees or reads. Semantic content is when that same information is organized like it actually matters, because it does. First, clear dealership entity information. Every dealership should make it easy to answer who you are, where you are, what you do. So at minimum, we want clean, consistent dealership identity. Name, address, phone number, hours, departments, brands, service areas, not hidden, not vague, not we serve the greater area, whatever that means. If you sell cars in Tampa Bay, say Tampa Bay, and then list the specific areas that you actually serve. Second, clear page intent. This is where most pages miss the mark. Every page should be able to pass the one sentence test. This page is about blank for blank, such as this page is about Civic lease offers in Tampa. This page is about oil changes for Honda drivers in Brandon. When the intent is clear, the AI doesn't have to guess, and they don't have to guess what that page is supposed to be about. Third, internal structure that's easy to parse. This is where we make the page readable like a checklist, not a novel. So we use strong headings in specific codes like H1 tags and H2 tags, not just big text, but actual coded content. We use frequently asked questions with concise answers because AI loves questions and answers. Location and service area sections, so it knows exactly who you are, what you do, and who this applies to. So here's the goal. If someone lands on a page and they scroll for 5 seconds, they should immediately understand what it is, who it's for, and what to do next. And if an AI tool lands on that page, it should be able to extract that exact same thing clearly without guessing. That's semantic content. On a dealership website, clear identity, clear intent, and structure that machines and humans are able to read super fast. So, all right. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, cool, semantic content, but what do I actually do on Monday to make a real difference? Here is that checklist. These are quick hitters, no theories, just moves that you can make that's going to create some real immediate lift. First, build or upgrade your location pages. Not just one generic location page. I'm talking about city pages. I'm talking about region pages that match how people actually search. So for example, Tampa, Brandon, Riverview, Clearwater, wherever you're trying to pull customers from, you should create pages, and each one of those should clearly say the area that you serve, what you're known for, the exact actions you would like your customers to take next. Search inventory, look at offers, schedule service, get a trade value. Second, build or upgrade your model pages. If you sell Hondas, you should have pages that are clearly about Civics, CRVs, Accords, Pilots, etc., and so on and so on. Not just thin pages with a big, beautiful hero image and a few generic paragraphs. These pages should be clear. They should answer the questions shoppers actually ask AI. What trims are best? What are the difference between the LX and the EX? What is a realistic payment range? Do you have any in stock near me? Third, build or upgrade your service pages. This is one of the easiest money people leave on the table. What you want pages for are going to be for brakes, tires, oil changes, alignments, recalls, batteries, check engine lights, diagnostics, because people aren't searching for service department. They're searching for brake pads near me. They're searching for oil change coupons. They're searching for Honda recall repair. If those pages don't exist, or if they exist and they're weak, you're invisible at the exact moment that somebody needs you. Fourth, add frequently asked question blocks to high intent pages. This one should be one of the simplest AI wins. Pick your money pages, model pages, offer pages, service pages, trade value pages, and then add a tight frequently asked question that has a question and a short, quick answer. Think about 6 to 10 different questions in the voice that the customer actually speaks. That format is going to get picked up by Google. That format is going to be picked up by AI, and that's what's going to be used to answer questions when people are asking these LLMs. Fifth, and this one should be non-negotiable, NAP consistency everywhere. NAP is name, address, phone. Your dealership information needs to be consistent across Google Business Profile, across social media marketing platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, any third-party listings, any listing directories. You're basically sending mixed signals if you're not consistent across those channels. And AI tools don't reward confusion, they reward consistency. So if you only pick up 5 things from this video, from this whole section, location pages, model pages, service pages, frequently asked questions, and NAP consistency, you're going to be already ahead of most stores in the marketplace. So already moving on to part 2. Part 2 is schema. And I know schema sounds like one of those things that people bring up and everybody nods their head like they really understand what it is and nothing changes, right? So let me just break this down into plain, simple English, what a schema is and what it does. Schema is just labels for machines. It's not for customers, it's not for design, and it's not for copy. It's the behind the scenes markup that tells Google and AI system exactly what they're looking at. So instead of machines guessing, is this the phone number for the dealership? Is this the address for the dealership? Is this what they sell? The schema is going to tell you exactly, yes, this is the phone number for the dealership. This is the address for the dealership. These are the hours for the dealership. This is the inventory. These are the offers. This is the services. And the reason it matters right now is because you're not just optimizing for Google page results, you're optimizing for AI systems to be able to extract those facts and then use them in the answers or the responses that they're giving customers in real time. So schema makes your site easier to interpret correctly, especially when AI is summarizing and recommending your dealership. So what schemas do you want to cover? Well, at a dealership level, here are the big buckets. Number 1, business info. Number 2, inventory context. Number 3, offers. 4, frequently asked questions. 5, videos and reviews. So now let's go straight into a priority list. This is the stuff that is worth doing first. Number 1, local business auto dealer. This is the foundation. This is the who you are schema. It reinforces your dealership's identity, your name, address, phone, hours, location, and brand association. If this isn't clean, everything gets harder, period. Service. Number 2, if you care about fixed operations, and you should, service schemas matter. So because people don't search service departments, they actually search for things like brakes, tires, oil changes, recall, diagnostics. Service schema helps machines understand what services you offer, where you offer them, and it ties those services to your dealership's entity. Number 3, frequently asked questions page. This is one of the easiest wins for AI. If you already have frequently asked questions on your dealership website or on a page, Schema turns that into clean, structured Q&A set, which is perfect for Google results, for voice search, and for AI answers. This is how you become the snippet. This is how you become the answer. Video object. If you're publishing video, which you should be, video object schema helps connect the dots. What the video is about, where the video lives, what the transcript relates to. It also ties to the page topic. So without it, your video content is harder for machines, AI, to interpret what the context is. Product and offer, where applicable. Now, this is going to depend on what your setup is. Some dealership websites don't have all of the offer content in a format that we can actually create these dynamic meta tags or schemas. If you can, and if you do, then you're going to be able to create product offer schemas with the lease offer, with the finance offer, with the service offer, with the featured vehicle. And then that product offer schema can help machines understand what is being promoted on those pages. So the key here is where applicable. Don't force it. If you don't have that structure, if it isn't clear, it's not compliant. And if it's not compliant, it's not going to be true. And we don't want to have it published. Organization plus same as. So this is the identity glue. Organization schema plus same as links tell machines that this dealership is the same as these official profiles. It's going to connect your dealership identity, your website, to Google Business Profile, to Facebook, to Instagram, to your YouTube channel, to LinkedIn if you have it. This is going to reduce confusion for AI and verify that you are real, and it creates that consistency. LLM friendly enhancements that most sites miss. Now, schema is a technical labeling, but there are other pieces that help AI a lot, and that is explicit connection language. This is where you can add an about section to key pages, not going to be filled with marketing fluff, but it's going to be filled with just plain language that spells out the relationship. So for example, we serve Tampa. We serve Brandon, Riverview, and the surrounding areas. We specialize in Honda sales, certified pre-owned, or lease options. We offer oil changes, brakes, tires, and recall service. That's what LLM-friendly content is, because it removes ambiguity. And this is this is the rule that makes all of this work. Use consistent language across pages so entities don't get fragmented. If one page calls you Brandon Honda and another calls you your local Honda dealer, and your address is formatted in 3 different ways on 3 different pages, your phone number shows up differently on different pages, machines really start treating each one of those as separate entities. Consistency is what turns your dealership into one strong, trusted entity online across Google and AI assistants. So the takeaway here for part 2 is simple. Schema labels the meaning, and consistent language reinforces that. That's how you make your site easy to interpret and easy to recommend. All right, moving on to part 3 is video. And I'm going to say this plainly. Video is no longer just a branding play. This is a content and discovery asset. So because AI answers aren't just pulling from web pages, they're pulling from YouTube with the titles, with the descriptions, with the transcripts. They're pulling from context on the page where that video lives, and the structured data that tells machines what that video is actually about. So if your video strategy is just to post a walk around video and hope it works, you're missing the bigger opportunity. Why video matters in AI search. When somebody asks AI which dealer near me has the best Civic lease, or what the difference between a CRV Sport and an EX is, or is this service special worth it, AI is going to choose sources that are clear, specific, and easy to summarize that information accurately. Video, when titled correctly and has a transcript, checks those boxes. And the best part is dealerships are sitting on unlimited video topics because customers are asking the same question every day. What dealerships should be publishing? This is the framework. Here's the easy way to structure dealership video so it actually drives discovery. Number one, model plus trim explainers. These win because they match real searches, not 2026 Honda Civic walk around, more like Civic Sport versus EX, what's the difference? Best CRV trim for families. What are you going to get from upgrading from an LX to an EX? All of this content AI loves because it's question-based and it's comparison-based. Offer walkthroughs. This is where a dealership can stand out really fast. Instead of just throwing a payment graphic online and calling it a day, do a short video that is about the offer, who it's good for, what the real variables are, money down, term, credit tier, taxes, availability. You're basically doing what your best salespeople do at scale. 3, service trust builders. This might be the most underrated category. People are searching for brake inspection cost, diagnosis fee, is a recall free, how long does an oil change take? Doing a short video that explains what the service is, what it includes, what the customer can expect, what happens next. This is going to drive appointments based on trust. Local proof. So this is where you can turn your dealership into the obvious local answer. Using delivery moments, community involvement, serving the area like Tampa Bay, type content, real customer stories. AI systems love this type of specificity because it helps them confidently recommend you to someone who is literally nearby. Make your videos AI readable. This is key. So now here's where most dealerships miss. AI doesn't actually watch your video like a human does. AI isn't going to watch this video. It's going to read this video about using the metadata, the title, the description, the transcript. That's what's going to make a video readable, and that's what we must do with our video content. So step one, title structure. Stop using titles that sound like internal labels. Use a format that matches how customers search. Model/service plus intent plus location. Example, 2026 Honda Civic lease offers in Tampa with payment examples. A Honda brake special in Brandon, what's included, CRV Sport versus EX, which one should you buy? That's one change. That one little change alone can increase how often your video is found and understood. Step number 2, transcript strategy. Because transcripts turn your video into text that search engines can index, that AI systems can summarize, that customers can skim, the rule needs to be every important video gets a transcript. If it lives on your dealership website, on a web page, put a transcript on that page. If it is on YouTube, make sure that the captions are clean. Step number 3, add the schema, video object. This is where part 2 and part 3 kind of come together. Video object schema tells machines this page includes a video. Here's a title, here's the description, here's the upload date, here's the transcript or supporting content. It ties the video to the page content instead of just leaving it kind of floating on your site. Step number 4, surround the video with content. This is kind of a secret weapon. Don't just embed the video and call it done. Above the video, add 3 to 5 bullet points. Below the video, put a frequently asked question block. Add a location service area section when it makes sense, because now AI sees this page is about Civic lease offers in Tampa, and it has a video, and it has a transcript, and it has frequently asked questions to support it. And that's how you become the answer. A simple dealership video workflow so it actually gets done. This is some practical execution. You don't need a studio, but what you do need is a repeatable process. So here's a simple workflow. Number 1, pick one topic per week from real customer questions. Number 2, record a 60-second to 120-second video, tight and direct. Title it using intent plus location. Publish it with the transcript. Add video object schema on the page where it lives, and then link it from a relevant model page or service page on your dealership website. That's it. If you do that consistently, you're going to build a library of content that AI can reference and customers can trust. So, some simple takeaways here. Video isn't just for awareness anymore. Video is now part of your SEO and your AI discovery strategy. If you title it right, you transcript it right, you structure it properly, AI can index it, they can summarize it, they can use it in their recommendations. And that's what is going to set us up for part 4. Because once you understand how to make content that is readable for AI, you can scale that concept with blog content using dealership specific data, not generic fluff. So, all right, part 4. This is blog content. And if you want to, and I do want to be very careful here because the internet is already full of garbage blog posts. So let me be upfront. AI doesn't mean pump out 50 different articles and call it content marketing. That's not the move here. The move is to use AI to create dealership specific, local, helpful content, the kind of content that builds authority and that shows up in both Google and AI answers. So, what blog content is used now? So, previously, blog content has been a traffic play. But now it's also an authority and a coverage play. Because when someone asks AI, is leasing a Civic worth it in 2026? What's the best SUV for a family in Tampa? How much does a brake job cost near me? AI pulls from sources that have the clearest, most trustworthy explanations. So the goal here is to create content that answers real questions better than anyone else in your market, and then tie that back to your dealership. So the key dealership specific inputs. The key is dealership specific inputs. And here's why most AI generated blogs fail. They're generic. They sound like Wikipedia. They could be for any dealership in any city. If you want AI content that actually works, you need to feed the right inputs. Think of AI as a really fast writer, but it still needs data, it still needs facts. So what we need to do is we need to train it with dealership specific data, such as your brand and models that you actually sell, the offer philosophy that your dealership have, explain how payments work, what you promise and what you don't promise, your service menu and what's included, your processes, your local market reality. All of that information is what goes into training a large language model to be able to write good, strong blog content. And when AI has those inputs, it can write content that sounds like your store, not a template. Blog content that actually win for dealership. Now let's talk about what to publish, because you don't need 100 different categories. You just need the right ones. Number one, local lifestyle plus vehicle fit. These do great because they're naturally local and practical. For example, best Honda SUV for families in Tampa, best vehicles for commuting across the bay, best cars for new drivers in Brandon. Number two, service, trust, and education. This is the fixed ops engine. Examples: what's included with the brake inspection? Why a diagnosis fee exists and what you get for it? What happens during a multi-point inspection? This content builds trust before the appointment. Number three, offer and payment education. This is where you can cut through the confusion. Examples: lease versus finance, how to choose in 2026. What affects your lease payment the most, and what does zero down actually mean? When you explain this clearly, your leads are higher quality. Trade and appraisal content. This is one of the highest intent content that you can publish. Examples: how trade values are determined in our market, what to bring when trading in your vehicle, and how to get the most for your trade. Trade content drives action. So let's put some guardrails around this, right? How to do this without creating fluff. Now, this is important. This is how you keep content from becoming thin, repetitive, or risky. Rule number one, every post must be tied to a real page and a real action. Link to a model page, link to an inventory, link to a service scheduling, link to a trade tool, link to offers. Rule number two, add a frequently asked question block at the bottom, because frequently asked question format really gets reused by search and by AI. Rule number three, human review. Not because AI can't write, but because you want it to be accurate, compliant, and consistent with what your store actually does. Rule number four, local specificity. If a post doesn't mention your area, your process, your actual services, it's not worth publishing. So the takeaway is simple. AI blog content works when it's grounded in your dealership's reality, in your market, your inventory, your service, and your process. Do that, and you don't just publish content, you build a library of answers that AI can consistently and confidently pull from. And that's what sets us up for the next step. The 30-day action plan, what to do first, what to do next, and what to do after that to keep moving. So, all right, let's land this presentation. The big shift is simple. The internet isn't just search engines anymore. The search engines, it's search engines and AI assistants. And AI just doesn't recommend what it clearly can't understand. So if you remember nothing else from today, remember this: clarity wins. Step number one we talked about was making your site readable, semantic content, clear intent, pages that actually match how people search. Number two was labeling that meaning with schema so machines can interpret it correctly. Step number three was video, using titles, transcripts, and context so your content can be indexed and summarized. Step number four was using AI the right way to scale local dealership-specific content that builds authority instead of creating fluff. Now, here's the good news. This isn't a 12-month project. This is something that you can start to get some momentum right away the first 30 days if you execute in the right order. And to make that easy, I'm not only going to leave you with all of these ideas that I've covered, I've actually put together everything that we've covered into a simple downloadable takeaway that you can get from that QR code right there. This is going to include the page checklist, the schema priority list, the video framework, the AI blog prompt inputs, and a 30-day rollout plan. You'll be able to grab it right now, scan the QR code, and download that PDF. And I'll close with this. If AI can't read your dealership information clearly, it can't recommend you. But if you structure it right, you don't just show up, you become the answer. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much.